Good morning or afternoon, whenever it is you're turning this on. If you're watching this, you should have already taken your 19 and 20 lesson tests on the Shang Dynasty and the geography of China. And now we're moving into some of the philosophies that influence the political rule in ancient China, as you can see right here on my screen. If you were really happy with your score on 19 and 20, then good, and I'm proud of you. If you tried really hard, but you didn't get as good of a score as you wanted and you want to do a retake, then send me a Google Chat message. I made a video on how to get to Google Chat. You can go watch that, me and my chicken, and send me a message and we'll get you set up for a retake. Okay, because I know everybody's working hard and doing their best. So before we get started, I wanted to share with you some music, because we listen to music in class a lot. And I was looking for music from the Shang Dynasty, and I got music from the Tang Dynasty. So I'm just going to play that for you. I'm not sure what the quality will be. But while you're listening, see if you can identify instruments. Maybe we don't know the names of them, but we probably know enough to know if something is a drum or a string instrument. I've heard some different sounds in there. So here we go. So I found this, and it also has a really neat picture, and she's holding an instrument, or she looks like some sort of like a guitar type of instrument. So let's listen a little bit more. Drums and cymbals and things like that. And then the music changes if you go a little further into it. I think I've heard this at Epcot. So anyway, the interweb is filled with all kinds of interesting things, and that's one of the things that I found. So let's get started on lesson 21. So philosophies are similar to religions in the sense that it's a way of thinking and living, but it doesn't have worship and things like that involved in it. And three of the Chinese philosophies that we're going to look at were Confucianism. Have you ever heard of Confucius? You probably quoted him before and didn't even know it. Taoism and legalism. And all of these philosophies influence the political rule of ancient China. So if you have your workbook, it's right here, page 153. If you don't have your workbook, I have the page right here we can look at together. And on this page, there's a preview activity like we would normally do in class, where you start turning your brain onto what it is that you're going to be thinking about. So right here on this page, there are three different approaches to a problem at a school. And you guys are super smart, and so you're probably figuring out there are three philosophies and three approaches here. So, each one matches one. But before we get into that, let's just decide maybe which one do we think we are. So these are different approaches that a school could take to deal with fighting and bullying. And we're talking about like kids fighting in the hall when they have a conflict, one kid being mean to another kid. So you are going to read these three approaches and then answer the poll below. Would you prefer approach 1, approach 2, or approach 3? And then I'll see you on the next slide. Okay? So if you need to pause it here to read it, it's there. It's also on TCI, or if you have your book at home.